Hello, and welcome to Shedding the Bitch Radio, where you can discuss, debate, and get advice on how to discover and shed the bitches of fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and negative mindsets so you can realize your dreams and life purpose and create and accelerate the riches you want in life. Join us here live every Tuesday at noon Eastern and dialogue with us at 818-572-2910. You can also chat with us at Blog Talk Radio /SheddingTheBitch or share your stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Bowes know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shedding the Bitch I was going to say real estate. You know why? Because our conversation is about real estate today, but it's Shedding the Bitch Radio. And yes, we are talking real estate investing. We are talking with our special guest, Joanna Wright. How are you, Joanna? Come on in. Hi.
Hey, Bernadette. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So she's going to be sharing with us 3 steps for newbie investors to get started in real estate investing. Now, you may be thinking, well, wait a minute, I'm not really an investor. Hold tight. She's going to uncover the 3 ways for newbie investors to get started in real estate investing and start taking control of their financial independence, starting today, regardless of time, money, age, knowledge, or any other excuse you're going to make for yourself. That's my little ad there. This proven strategy helps newbie investors become experienced investors. She has taken students, and if I can read my own paperwork, where's my monitor when I need it? From young, no knowledge and very little time, to experienced and quit their job, having more time to spend with family and travel, with cash flow that no one could have provided. Now, what we want you to be listening for is why creating your financial independence is important. Getting started in real estate investing is easier than people think. And real estate investing is the safest asset and true way to wealth. Now, for Joanna and any of you who are joining Shedding the Bitch Radio for the first time, I like to ground all of you listening with a rich question. It's a question that kind of opens you up to the topic of conversation for today. And as Joanna spews her wealth of knowledge and excitement around real estate investing, you will probably get your question answered. And you're probably going to all of a sudden go, oh, wait, that is me. By just thinking about this rich question as we have this conversation. So your rich question today is really simple. It's what is that one question or concern that you have about investing in real estate? All right. What is that one question or challenge or concern that you have about investing in real estate? Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about our guest. Joanna Wright is the founder of Bottom Line Wealth and recognized as an expert creating more than $5 million in real estate transactions for her students. She has over 19 years of experience as a licensed multi-million-dollar real estate professional and investor, specializing in the wholesale and wealth building strategies. Teaching newbie investors how to build wealth and keep more of the money they make is her passion. She also has a passion for teaching women to build wealth with ease. That assets are sexy. They create confidence and independence. She has been mentored by Sharon Lechter, the co-founder of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad curriculum, multiple 7-figure real estate investing instructors, along with many other leaders within the industry. Joanna offers an uplifting, collaborative, and educational environment, providing concrete solutions, realistic goals, and a customized roadmap for each student. She is an award-winning mentor, investor, and national speaker. And I want you to go out right now to bottomlinewealth.net to learn more about her as we get into this conversation, okay? Joanna, I am so excited. We're going to talk about how we know each other. We'll do that later when we talk about the special thing that you've got going. Yeah, but give everyone an idea though about you, who you are, and then work your way into how did you get into not only real estate investing, but wanting to teach other people how to do it as well.
Sure, sure. Thanks so much for having me here. I really appreciate it, Bernadette.
Yay.
And I loved hearing about the other speakers about getting out of your own way. What is your purpose? I get that because like, I just got the chills all over me right now because I'm living my purpose. So super powerful. And I started kind of a very humble life. My parents were not into real estate investing. I didn't even know that it was a thing that you could do. We rented all of my life, and I didn't buy my first house till I was in my 20s.
Nice.
And when I started, so what really happened, why I catapulted into this was because my landlord's daughter came to my house and said, we need to sell off some of her inventory. And I go, inventory? Really? You can own more than one house? Like, that's how naive I was, right?
Ah, yeah.
And she says, yeah, my mom's had a stroke. And I'm like, oh, okay. So she was selling the house. We decided to buy it. We bought it. My girlfriend down the road, she helped me. She's like, yeah, I'll walk you through it. I'm like, really? I could do this. So that's what my catapult was into real estate investing. Yeah. And as I went through transaction after transaction, wholesaling, you're, unemployed at the end of each transaction. As a realtor, you're unemployed at the end of each transaction. And most realtors don't even know about wealth building strategies when it comes to real estate. So I had to go outside of all of that, get my education on how to build wealth in real estate. Because it was in the back of my mind the whole time, my landlord was the shit. Excuse my language, but like, that is the way to go because she had an inventory of property that paid for her lifestyle.
Sure.
So she retired when she desired, right? She didn't have to go to a job 9 to 5 and burn the midnight oil trying to make life happen. So she had a rich life of her properties paying for her life and her desired life. And then when she had a stroke, she was able to sell off some of her assets to create a better long-term care for herself. I thought, oh my goodness, that's genius. Everybody should know to do that.
Genius.
We don't, we're not taught this in school,
No, we're not. And as a matter of fact, you're going to teach us because I'm going to be the newbie real estate investor for you. Okay.
Super.
So you mentioned in that introduction about wholesaling. So many people out there listening are thinking of real estate investing as other houses. So what, define wholesaling, and then what does real estate investing make up as far as the actual type of properties?
Sure. So wholesaling is something you could do with anything. Basically, the bottom line what that means is you're buying it at a discount and you're selling at a discount so someone can sell it at a retail value, right? So there has to be that margin. See how I got bigger there?
Right.
So there is being able to have that equity available. So you're buying a challenge, basically, and you're selling it to someone who's going to solve the challenge.
Okay.
Right? So you're the middle person as a wholesaler, just like a realtor is. Do you need a license? Nope, absolutely not. Though I did hear in Illinois, they're trying to crack down on, having licenses or not. So make sure it's legal in your state. But I mean, this has been since the dawn of time. I mean, really, if you go back to caveman days, right. Escrow was just a different story. You just whacked someone over the head and now you had a new cave, right? Escrow is just a little different now. But housing doesn't go away. I have interviewed multi-millionaires and billionaires, and real estate is the number one asset. So why not you?
Right. Well, and that's a great question for everyone listening. Why not you? Go back to that question that I asked you as a rich question. What is the one question or concern that you have about it? Because we're going to probably answer that question before we're done. And if we don't, then you're going to have all of Joanna's information so you can reach out to her. But keep in mind, go to bottomlinewealth.net and you could start looking into it right now. So walk us through, what can I do today as a newbie to get started, especially if I have limited or no money?
Awesome. Yeah, great question. That is a question I get a lot of. Joanna, I don't have the funds to get started. Or Joanna, I only have 20 grand or 2 grand or $1 million. So everyone has their perspective of what's right to get started in real estate investing, but you don't need any money. You really don't need any money. And if you want to be a part of a transaction and earn some money on your money, then you need as little as 2 grand. So people go,
now, if you don't have money, do you need good credit?
No. You do not need no credit, no money. And you don't have to qualify with banks. So that's the biggest thing. So I have been in real estate for over 20 years now. And I have not used traditional money in, I can't even tell you how long. So it's a way that investors think and work. It's what the wealthy do. They don't use their own money.
Right.
They use other people's money. And people might go, well, why would you do that? And I get it. You're like, well, if you have money, Joanna, why don't you use it? Well, so if I put 20 grand into a property, it's now what we call dead money. It's just sitting there. But if I took let's say I took Bernadette's 20 grand and I put it in a property, she's now earning interest on that property. And my property can now go to my money can go to one of her properties. And now I can earn interest on that money. Because quite frankly, my friends, if your money's sitting in the bank, you're losing money.
Right.
Inflation is far outweighing it and you are losing money. So why not put it into an asset that earns you money?
Right.
So what I get a lot of is so-called experienced investors that say, oh, well, I know how to evaluate property and there's this property I got and I put my 20 grand in it. Now I just need rehab money. Well, if you had used another investor, you'd have had that available to do rehab money. And there's actually money available that you can get to purchase and rehab. So if you want to get into that part of it as well. There's so many creative things that you could do with real estate. It brings out the mad scientist in me. That's what I wanted to be when I was a little girl, was a mad scientist.
Oh yeah, there you go. Good for you. STEM. More women in STEM. And even if they are mad. No, so obviously, well, I shouldn't say that, should I? Can I do this in my spare time? Is this something I need to be doing like full time, or can I do it in my spare time?
No, absolutely not. You can do this in your spare time. I have students that came to me that knew absolutely nothing. They came to me through an ad and they wanted to learn how to buy their dream home. And I said, well, let me tell you what a wealthy person would do. And basically I talked them out of buying their dream home. And yes, I convinced them to not buy their dream home and to be a real estate investor. To this day, they have now quit their job. They have cash flowing of, I think it's $7,500 right now per month. And they just have a different lifestyle. And they're constantly getting educated to up their mindset. And this is coming from nothing. Like they knew nothing about real estate. And now they're basically setting themselves up for retirement at 25 years.
Yeah.
Old.
What? I'm sorry.
At 25 years old.
Wow. So obviously you must have suggested, I'm going to make an assumption here. Was it that you suggested that they don't buy their dream home, which means don't lay out all of that money, buy a home that you just need because a home is, a house is a house, and put the balance of what it was that you were going to spend on your dream house into other property?
Absolutely. The point I had just made of when investors put their own money to invest, it sits there and it's dead. It's dead money. The same thing when you buy your own property, to live in, your dream home, if you will, your money's now dead and you're paying 3 times more for that house. Because if you look at the compound interest that the bank is charging you, at the end of 30 years, you'll have paid 3 times more for that property than the actual purchase price. So this is an eye-opener for a lot of people that I talked to. Like, what? No way. Let's go get it. Like, let's review. And they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm paying that much for this house. So, and it happens. And this was in California, where this particular student and I met, and I talked him out of buying a house, which means they had to come up with a lot of money to buy a house, right? In the first place, to put a down payment. So in real estate investing, if you can buy a house and not put any money into it, or you could buy a personal house and put all your money into it, and then you have no cash flow, which would you choose?
It's true. It's very true. Yep, very true. All right, well, okay, so knowledge is great, but applied knowledge is key. So, like, how does somebody just, I mean, yes, they can go to bottomlinewealth.net and learn about Joanna, but realistically, like the type of education, that either you recommend or that you do for your students, help us understand, how can we get that knowledge?
Sure. So when I first started, and I had to go out into the world and figure out how all this worked, because this is not something that's taught in school. You have to go out and find gurus, mentors, whatever you want to call them, and learn how it works for you. And what I found was there was a lot of how-tos out there, a lot of, you can YouTube it, you could read a book, you could Google it, really. How do you do it? But it's the strategy and the mental capacity that you need to understand how all the moving parts work, right? And so this is what keeps people stuck. They'll go out and they'll YouTube something. Oh, I read a book, I learned all of this stuff, but they never pick up the phone and call to make the sale, to figure it out, right? So they stay stuck. And I have a student who recently joined me that it's been 10 years. He's been churning about, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. It's been 10 years. He's finally pulling the trigger and getting the actionable steps to move forward. Yeah. Because if you don't take action, I mean, you could learn all you want about something, but until you take action, it does you no good.
So what I hear too, and what that question or concern could be that one of our listeners has from the bridge question that we asked, is that they should go out and get educated, but at the same time, they should also leverage, or they should also layer that knowledge with someone like an expert like yourself to kind of give them the steps-to-step process, because, the bookstores are packed with books simply because people will read them, but then they don't know how to apply it. And so someone like yourself, them finding an expert helps them not only learn it, because you have also the education around it, but also then go and apply it, hold them accountable to doing it, and making sure that they are successful in doing it if they do the things that you propose for them to do. Is that kind of the understanding that we should have?
Absolutely. I want to get people out of the getting ready to get ready to get ready. Right. Oh, I need a website. Oh, I need a business card. Oh, I need all of this first before I actually do it. So I get them out of that mindset, that motion, that dead motion, if you will. It's just like your money sitting in your own house. It's dead money. You need to put it to work. You need to put yourself to work. So I have a master class that I do, and I have participants that are actually negotiating on properties in 5 days.
Wow. Okay, and we're going to get to that in just a second, but I want to touch on, before we do, because I want to make sure that those listening, if these are any of your fears, concerns, doubts, questions, I want you to be able to relate to them, so then you can leverage, and I'll say leverage, the knowledge and mastermind that Joanna provides. So obviously, like you said, that guy sat around for 10 years just, wanting to pull the trigger, but never pulling the trigger. What are all the multiple reasons? You've mentioned a couple of them, but what are the layering of reasons that people have when it comes to taking that next step? And you had mentioned women earlier. So especially where women are concerned, what are you finding from your clients as to why it took them so long to come to you?
They're scared.
Plain and simple, scared. What are they scared of?
They're scared of losing money. They're scared of getting caught in a contract that doesn't make sense. And now they have to, again, back to losing money. There's so many nuances that you can't get from a book. You can only get from experience. You have to go through the experience of it. And because when I first started out 20 years ago, I was actually a mortgage broker. And how I explained the financial part of it was that, because they're like, oh, well, Susie got, 5% over here, or, Dan got, 4% over there. How come I can't get that? Well, because it depends. Until you experience and go through the process yourself, each process is like a fingerprint. No two are alike.
Yeah.
They're all different. So the experience is what helps you to understand how it really works. And that's why people stay stuck, because they never went through the experience. They didn't have a mentor pull them through an experience. And all they have is the knowledge out of a book. They're going, one day I can do it, I'm sure, but there's nothing to pull them through it.
Right.
Until you actually get a mentor, me, whomever, it doesn't even matter. I'm not even trying to promote me. I'm just saying, get someone who's experienced to walk you through it.
Right.
So that you're safe and you understand how it works, and you're not stuck in a contract or losing money, and you're experienced.
Right. Well, and I from everything that you've said so far too, though, are kind of the solutions to those fears and insecurities and doubts and negativities. Because, so for instance, if you're scared of losing money, well, then just start small. Pick a number that you can afford to lose, in order to get some experience, and go out and get that experience. Because people are, do you have the philosophy? People are going to make mistakes. People are going to, misstep. And the only, so you have to almost like fail fast. You have to be willing to kind of get out there, make, do the work, make the mistakes, and then just respond to that mistake, the next time around.
Absolutely. I make sure my students fail forward fast, because, and it's not fail, that's our thing that we say all the time, but it's actually a lesson.
Right.
You don't know the lesson until you go through it.
Yeah.
And then now you have data to come back with you and go, okay, well, here's what I could have done better.
Right.
And you're never going to get that unless you have the experience. And that's what I pull my students through, is an experience.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So now I do want to kind of work into, and then we're going to mention it again, but so Joanna and I met because of her program, and actually because of my own program, but because of her program and her mastermind, her opportunity for you to have an expert like Joanna, get the education, get the hand holding, get the coaching and overall the strategy, the masterminding, so you can pull that trigger and, as she says, fail forward fast, and have kind of that safety net through someone like a Joanna. So Joanna, you have a 5-day, and it's free, by the way. You have everybody free 5-day. Basically, it is a mastermind. It's an education. It's a way for you to get in, and it's all about getting your first deal. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, absolutely. So my 5-day class is all about really pulling you through an experience. Like I can't tell you enough how important that is. And it's identifying your exit strategy, knowing all the nuances of a real estate transaction, analyzing the deal, knowing the repairs, like all of this is gone over in a 5-day period. Now they're not like all day 8-hour trainings. Right. This is very short, simple, easy to apply. And I have students that are actually in negotiations by day 5.
That's
So and this is with no experience. They have no experience.
right.
And again, you don't even have to worry about the money part of it, because it doesn't take any money to do real estate investing, unless you're going to do an earnest money deposit or marketing or other stuff that you want to put money into. But I give free solutions for people to get started, so they don't have to spend money on that on their first deal. Take that first deal, right, that you make money on, and then add some marketing or some systems to it, right?
Right.
And then on those deals, you build wealth, because I don't know if you see my hat, but it's a legacy creator.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
my hat.
Yep.
It's all about building a legacy and being able to retire when you desire. So if you can get past this start part, get into systems, and then build your wealth, which is what my program's all about, you're on your road. You're on your road.
Right. And if you think about everybody, if you think about your why, we talk about the why spot a lot here in the Shedding the Bitch community. And if you think about your why, she's mentioned it: legacy, retirement, financial freedom. You know, you would probably even say, some of you would even say, like, sanity, being able to take a breath, because, you know, from just having to do the grind that you might be doing currently. And that grind could be in your own business, or could be for another person's business or corporation. And yet at the same time, you're like, I want something of my own. I want something that I can feel good about and pass on, and that kind of thing. So you don't want to miss out on an opportunity like this, especially being that it's free. And I will say, because I will say that her 5 days, when she says, you know, they're in a transaction by the end of the 5th day, it's because every day she provides you education, but she also provides you templates, like working documents that you start using. You have homework, and you start using it so you can get to that, you know, day 5, you know, possibility of getting into negotiations. So this isn't just like you're going to sit and listen to Joanna for, you know, an hour, and then you're just going to go, okay, bye, see you tomorrow. This is like, no, you're going to get out there and start doing. All right. So I want you to, right now, everybody, I want you to join her Facebook group. And of course, groups are private, and this is where she houses and hosts her program. So go to Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing group on Facebook. So you know that, facebook.com/groups/Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing. And Joanna, is that where also they'll learn about once they join, because it's private, so you have to join everybody, and then they'll get all the information in regards to the 5 days?
Yes, all of that is in the group.
Okay. All right. So be sure to, and we're not done yet, everyone. I just wanted to kind of make sure we got that in there. But we have some more information and discussion to have with Joanna. So just go to her Facebook group, Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing, and learn more about this opportunity for you to get started right now. Stop making those excuses, people. I mean, she gave you an out. You don't need your own money, you know? So if you're scared about making a mistake, get over it. You're going to make a mistake, but she's going to minimize that, if not prevent that for you. Okay. And remind me, and remind all of us, when does this start?
This is going to be July 13th.
All right.
So Monday.
Next week, everybody. So get on it, get on the horn, get prepared, get all psyched up and ready to go. But you have plenty of time. Just make sure you do it. All right. Just
absolutely
do it. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to know, you already answered the fact that I don't need a license to start investing in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But define for me, because I'll be honest with you, and I'm a pretty smart woman, I don't understand how I don't need money. So help me understand, first off, what is a good deal? And then how do I get that deal if I have no money?
Absolutely. Great question. So in the wholesale world, if you're going to start with no money, you're going to start with wholesale. Okay. And basically, again, that's buying at a discount and selling at a discount So then that end person can sell it at retail. Okay.
Okay.
So basically you're taking the paper, you're putting something in contract, okay, whether it's a Matchbox car, a house, whatever, a shovel, you're buying it at a discount and then you're selling it. Okay, let's take it from the supermarket point of view. Supermarkets buy from wholesalers. They buy from farmers.
Mm-hmm.
They get it at a certain price and then they sell it to you for a different price, right?
Yep.
That's wholesaling. So basically you can wholesale anything. So that's the process of wholesale. How you do it with no money is you're flipping a contract. So you have it in contract, the paper in contract for this amount, and you're going to sell it to maybe a fix and flipper or a landlord, and you're going to flip that contract to that person. So that little bit of margin right there is yours.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And it has to have enough meat on the bone so that the flipper or the landlord can then sell it at retail.
Yes.
And have equity in the property.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish if you weren't finished.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not about putting any money into the project. It's about getting the paper. Once you have, what makes it legal is that you have a contract with the seller to market and sell the property, just like a realtor would.
Yep.
They have a listing agreement, you have a contract of purchase.
Right.
So now you have owner rights to be able to market and sell. And that's what makes it legit, that you don't need a license, you don't need to be a realtor, and you don't need any money because you put it in a contract. And then that end buyer, you have a buyer's list if you're going to make a system out of this. And some people do this for a living. I have a great investor friend in Canada who invests in Atlanta, Georgia, never sees the property, and it does it all day long. It's a system that he has put together, right?
Nice.
And that's what I help my students understand is the system so that they can rinse and repeat. They can make a whole business out of this.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Or you could just do 1 or 2 a year and earn a couple of, 10, 20 grand per
Right.
transaction.
Right.
Depending on where you're investing at.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So is that what makes a good deal? So the whole secret sauce, so to speak, is just the fact that you want to buy something and you want to make sure it's at a discount, of which then you can you can pretty much say, hey, I guarantee you I'm going to sell this and I'm going to be able to get somebody else to buy it. And then I'm comfortable that there's a margin in there that I'm going to be able to walk away with. Is that what makes a good deal, or is there something specific that makes a good deal?
So that makes the wholesale transaction process. What makes a good deal is it depends.
That's a consulting term.
It depends. Yeah, I feel like an attorney sometimes. It depends on you. So what might be a good deal for you is not a good deal for me, and vice versa. Yeah. So you have to, if you're going to wholesale and make a business out of it or sell it to end buyers, you're going to have to interview those buyers and ask them what is a good deal to them. What do they want? Yeah. And then you are basically like a waiter, waitress. You go get the order and you bring it to them.
Right. Right. And again, you can do this in your spare time. You don't have to do this as a full-time, or like many of her customers, clients, they started, in their spare time, and then they evolved to wanting to let go of the job and do this more full-time, or just use that open time to lay on a beach, which I would really like to be doing right now. Okay, so how can someone afford multiple properties? I mean, obviously volume is going to help you scale and make it a business. So what is the secret to, affording multiple properties that you could be making a profit on?
Absolutely. So I just want to touch back real quick on the time thing, that I do have a mother of 4 or 5 children. I can't remember if it was 4 or 5. who did this in her spare time of taking care of her children and working a full-time job.
Jeez.
So that's a lot. If you ladies are listening to me, you know that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, so anyone could do this, literally. You just have to have dedicated time, 1 to 5 hours a week, really knock it out.
Nice. Very nice. 1 to 5 hours a week. That's a good benchmark, everybody. 1 to 5 hours a week. All right. Yeah. Cool.
And the next question was what? I'm sorry.
That's okay. How can I afford, well, I wouldn't want to stop with one. How can I afford multiple properties going at the same time?
Right. So I have multiple properties going at the same time right now, actually. I'm actually in my commercial building. You can see behind me, I got a coffee pot and cooler. And it's shut down right now. It's going to be a pizza joint and deli. It's something that I acquired with none of my own money. And I have a project in, well, actually I just completed one in Atlanta, and I have another one here in Pennsylvania. And I'm buying and selling like across the nation. So I have a student in Colorado she does coaching, and she had a client in California who had a house in Atlanta. So like, that's how I got a hold of that property. So it's just a constant, I'm constantly in multiple projects.
Right.
It's none of my own money, people. Like, that's what I really want to stress home, is that whole thing of me putting my own money into a property. That means my money's just sitting there dead.
Yeah.
Right. I would rather invest in someone else's property and get a return on my money, and instead of it sitting in the bank doing nothing.
Yeah.
So that's how I have multiple projects. I buy virtually. I get boots on the ground in the area. Maybe it's a realtor or a contractor or somebody. But I have systems in place that I help my students do as well. So they build their team so they can invest where they want to. Yeah. My particular student in Colorado, she invests in Virginia. And that's because of a tax write-off that she needed. So I'm very geeky on the tax and legal stuff. So I make sure people understand how to best do it. Taxes are always involved in everything that you do. So I geek out on it. So she needed a tax write-off, and that's what worked for her. So depending on your needs, if you need cash flow or if you need a write-off, I'm going to tell you two different things.
Right.
Right. But it's still real estate investing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So having multiple projects gives me multiple benefits, and I have team in place that handles. And I grew into this, guys. I grew into this. This was not overnight.
I was just going to throw that in there. That's something that happens over time. Don't get stressed that you all of a sudden need a team. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So just like my student that started, he was like 22 at the time and knew nothing. I talked him out of buying their dream home, and now he's a full-time investor, but he did it in his spare time. It took him a year to do his first wholesale because he knew nothing, and it was really tough for him to wrap his head around. No money, no this, no that. So I've had students take a year. I've had students take 6 weeks. I have them doing in 5 days, getting under contract in 5 days. So awesome. It all just depends on the person, and how much they're going to put into it is what they're going to get out of it, really.
Yeah. So just like anything, obviously, a good part of your work is not necessarily even the systems and the processes and the steps, because you have that down solid. It's dealing with people's psyche. and I would guess, not from my own experience in real estate, but in another sector, that when one loses money one time, then getting back into that same arena again, is the level of stress and anxiety and fear is so much more elevated, as opposed to, I'm going to go over here and put my money over here. So how do you work with your clients, and how much time do you spend with your clients on that mental mind game that they have to go through?
I'm so patient with my students because I was there. I didn't know anything. I mean, at 20 years old, I'm like, you had inventory? What do you mean? So I get it. And I lost a lot in 2008. I pretty much lost everything. I mean, I had to rise like the phoenix out of the ashes with nothing. I couldn't even afford a bottle of water. So,
I'm with you, girl. I swear you're like a sister from another mother. Philly or Pennsylvania, Atlanta, investing. Anyway, go ahead.
well, I have a student it's funny you mentioned this because I do have a student in Oklahoma, and she was scared. She hesitated for 6 months before signing up with me because she's like, I lost everything in 2008. I don't want to do it again. And I'm like, I know it. I know it. I feel you. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And we could stay scared, or we can get back on the bike and start riding, get back on the horse, whatever it is, you know, because ultimately what she needs, and this is the words from her mouth, is she needs the financial security and the legacy to give her son. She wants to take care of her son.
That's her why.
That's her why.
Yep.
So it's all about the legacy. It's all about legacy creators for me. This is not just about how to do real estate investing. It's how to build wealth, create financial security for your future and your children.
Yeah.
And this is why women are so important to me.
Right.
Women are so important to me because we always put ourselves last.
Mm-hmm.
We take care of everyone else. We put ourselves last.
True.
So, and once you have the security that I'm talking about, you have the confidence, you have the time, you know, your kids are secure, you feel so different. You just light up. You're so beautiful. It just radiates, right? When you're stuck in debt and you're stuck in like the grind of the 9 to 5, and what am I going to teach my children? And that brings a darkness over you.
Yep, it does. It does. Desperation.
And then the worst thing is you pass that on to your children.
Right. Yes. Yes. There's that legacy.
That's the legacy most of us don't want.
Right. Right. That's all.
So I bring my mothers, my women together to uplift, because we're natural creators. We're natural love bugs.
Yeah.
We're here to take care.
Right.
Right? We're here to care. And you know, if I can't get them in a place that holds them high, fills their cup so it's overflowing, so then they now can go help other people.
Yeah. Awesome.
And that's my ripple effect in the world.
Awesome. And it's a ripple effect not only with women, though. I want to make sure men,
absolutely,
men too. But like myself, you know, Joanna has a special place in her heart to provide women this opportunity to really just own a legacy that they can nurture and pass on. And
I just had a gentleman sign up from the UK.
Nice.
He's a healthcare worker, so he's working his petunias off.
Nice.
But he loves my values and how much I care for women. And so I just want to tell the world, right? But you know, he's male. He's joined my program, and he knows that I'm going to take care of him. That's what he gets from that.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Joanna Wright. Yes, awesome, awesome. The legacy creator.
Yeah.
All right, so a few things, people. Go to bottomlinewealth.net, learn all about her. But more importantly, right now, whether you're listening, watching, wherever, go to her private Facebook group and join it. It's Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing. Be sure to join the group, because even if you don't do anything else, her group is very engaging, very collaborative. She's always out there answering questions, providing resources and great advice. But more importantly, you do want to look into this 5-day challenge that she has to get you to your first deal. It's free. It's education. It's her coaching you and guiding you and providing you the actual like templates and work products that you need. Yes, you're going to do work, so you can actually maybe be the one that at the end of those 5 days, you're already in a negotiation on your first deal. So you need to check this out. It's well worth your time. And that's the only investment that you have is your time. So, and now correct me if I'm wrong. If folks can't be there live, what happens?
So the live is at noon Eastern Standard Time, and then we have a watch party at 8 p.m. so that they can ask questions live. I'll be there live, but it's a replay of the noon. So It's up for about 7 days.
Yep.
So it's not going to be there forever.
Yep.
It's up for about 7 days for them to get a hold of it. The recording's on there. And then after the 7 days, everything's poof, gone.
Gone.
Because then I have to now turn my attention to my students.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. They showed up. They got over their fears. They decided to.
They took action.
And they're taking action. So that's where your focus needs to go. So there's no excuses, people. There's no excuses. If you've wanted to do this, or you've even now gotten kind of like, woo, this sounds really cool and interesting, and I could do this, then just be sure to leverage this 5-day challenge, free, live or with the replays. All the content is there for a short period of time. And then she's there on a regular basis within the group. And so you're always able to be reaching out and talking with her, okay? And again, both of us felt that this was such a vital conversation for us to have within the Shedding the Bitch community with all of you, because one, this time period in our lives, let's hope it never happens again, but it's providing massive opportunities for all of us to jump in and leverage someone like a Joanna to maybe consider not a full-time course correction, but even that spare time pivot that you can be taking advantage of while you're, still working, or while you're still doing other things that may lead to bigger and better things for yourself, that legacy that you can create. Okay. So bottomlinewealth.net, go to Facebook, private group, Retire Early Through Real Estate Investing. All right. Learn all about that 5-day. And then next week, and it starts next week before I tune out. It does start next week on the 13th. So you still have time, and be sure that you do. And then also what I want to also have you do is invite your friends. Tell your friends about it. Make sure they're taking advantage of it. Make sure they're creating a legacy. Make sure they're learning a new skill and a new industry that they could be taking advantage of right now in order to grow their own financial freedom and wealth. All right. But what I was going to go on and say is, and then come back right here at noon Eastern time next Tuesday. It is our Ask Bernadette episode. So go to our Shedding the Bitch Facebook or Twitter page. A lot of you DM me, and that's perfectly fine. A lot of you actually send me your question, story, or challenge through LinkedIn. That's where the majority of them were before you started DMing me quite a bit. And whatever question you have, because if I can't answer them, I'm going to get the expert, like a Joanna or someone else. So don't hesitate getting the help that you need that we're offering. So that's our Ask Bernadette episode, and that'll be next Tuesday at noon Eastern time, right here on Shedding the Bitch Radio and Shedding the Bitch TV on YouTube. All right. Joanna, thank you so much for being part of this. This was awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
You are so welcome. And we will talk very soon, actually in a couple seconds. So we'll talk to everybody next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.